Howdy y'all, I hope you guys are all doing well, I hope you guys are safe, and I hope you guys are healthy. Today I'm bringing you yet another vlog. Today the plan is to take a little bit of a fit pic, as always, and then go downtown, have a little bit of lunch at one of my favorite spots that I'm really excited to show you guys, and show you 3 different places that I like to go vintage shopping. They're not necessarily like vintage resale shops where they're selling kind of sneakers as well as hype gear, but they are places that not only have vintage clothing, but vintage furniture and decor as well. So, super excited for this one. I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get right into it.
It's okay.
So we just got down to downtown Las Vegas. There are 2 major parts of downtown. Fremont Street, which I know a lot of people know very well, and that's where a lot of like the bars and clubs are. Really fun during the night and on the weekends, but during the day, definitely go to Main Street. There are some really great places. There's a Buffalo Exchange here, and there are also a lot of really good restaurants. There are two of the 3 vintage shops that I'm going to show you guys are actually on Main Street. So, but first we're gonna get a little bite to eat at Cornish. If you don't know what Cornish is, definitely come here if you're visiting Vegas. It's pronounced pasties, right? Yeah, so they serve pasties, which are like really intense Hot Pockets, and it's delicious. So very highly suggest. I'll show you guys a little bit of footage in there as well. Today I have April here and my little brother in the back. Cool. So let's get to it. So first stop of the day, we're here at Retro Vegas. Definitely a really cool place, looks really cool inside. They not only have vintage clothing, but they also have vintage furniture. I'm gonna try to get a little bit of footage inside to show you guys exactly what they have to offer. Very, very cool. It's on Main Street. I'll put the address and like where it is exactly up on the screen right now. Yeah, let's go. So I completely forgot to break down my outfit. Up top we have a mohair sweater from actually All Saints. Over here for pants we got some Wrangler, I think it's the 82 BK model, and then we got some Rick Owens Ramones with a Rick Owens Dark Shadow tote bag. It's lit. So all throughout downtown Las Vegas there is a bunch of street art, so definitely explore. I mean, of course, be safe at the same time, but there is plenty to look at, a lot of backgrounds to take a look at for outfit pictures or really whatever you need. So it's definitely a really cool place to explore.
The thick pigeon is leaving. It's so thick.
All right, so I didn't expect to spend money, but I spent money. And I'll show that to you guys a little bit later on in the vlog. But next up we're going to Antique Alley Mall. Another great place for vintage clothing. Well, maybe not as much clothing, but more as like vintage decor and everything else. They have just about everything in here that you could ever want, including vintage cameras, which actually April collects. But yeah, I'll show you guys a little bit of what's inside, and let's get going. If you're ever downtown, Antique Alley Mall on Main Street. And right behind me is Retro Vegas. Definitely visit these places if you're going downtown in Las Vegas. Really cool stuff. Both for decor as well as vintage clothing, so definitely check it out. All right, let's head over to the next one and last one. This place, just like Antique Alley Mall, has a bunch of booths with different sellers that carry their product, and a lot of the times it's actually really cool. So some of my favorite things that are in this one, in this particular one, is this 1995 Sturgis shirt. It is single stitch and it has beautiful fading, and it has just such interesting colors to it. So there's that one. And it's all pretty fairly priced as well. I really like it here. And then there's another one actually. It's this one right here. Super old vintage. Of course it's single stitch, and then the stripe goes through the back. What else is really cool about this place is they don't just have vintage like shirts and sweaters, they also have things like, this is a Levi's jacket from 1993.
I have the same one.
Indeed. And they also have some vintage Levi's up here actually. Usually at these vintage spots, a vintage t-shirt will be anywhere from like 20 to 30 bucks, and then a pair of jeans will be anywhere from 35 to like 60 maybe, depending. It really depends on the seller, but you can find some really good things at vintage spots like this. So definitely visit these places. Look at this. It's beautiful. Is that what, like a Pegasus on the back?
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh my goodness. $45 only too. Alright, so it is the end of this vlog. We have been to 3 different vintage spots, and I hope you guys enjoyed all that. I just wanted to show you what I picked up today. First is actually a video game, Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation 2. I only bought this because I used to play this when I was a kid, and honestly it was one of my favorite games of all time. And I'm super happy to have found it because I've actually been searching it for quite a while, but everywhere I've found it has been like rather expensive, so I only spent about, I think, $10 on it, which is really cool. Next up is a pair of Levi's 501s in my size, 32-30. Usually I go for a 32-33, 32 or 33 in the waist. Length is anywhere from 30 to 32. And here they are. They're just a pair of light washed blue denim, and they're actually perfect because they do have some distressing and paint throughout. Super cool. And I only got this for about $30, which is amazing for a pair of legitimately old vintage Levi's. And this particular pair actually happens to be from 1998. And last up is something that I've actually never found at a vintage store before, and I'm super happy to have found it now. It is this, I guess you could call it a Japanese Naragi, but it is very thick. It kind of, it's not a down jacket, but it reminds me of a Visvim down kimono, which those go for like maybe excess of $1,000, whereas this one is just as good. fits just as well. And I only spent about, I think it was $40 for this one. So I spent less than $100 today, thankfully enough. I didn't expect to spend any money, but I ended up leaving with these. Let me know what you guys think of the pickups. There are definitely a whole lot of other places to actually find vintage clothing in Las Vegas, but these are my 3 favorites. I really enjoy going to these types of shops because it's not like going to a vintage resale shop. Vintage resale shops, there's nothing wrong with them, and honestly, they're more often than not run by great people, and they are great for the streetwear community, especially locally, but they do tend to have a lot higher price points, and it's kind of fun if you want to go on a little bit of a hunt, and once you come across something by chance, it is then that much more of an experience, at least to me. So if you're willing to put in the time, if you're willing to take a look at some really cool antiques, not just clothing, but collectibles and everything else, definitely visit these shops, visit these malls, I guess you could call them. So the 3 that I went to today were Retro Vegas was the first one, Antique Alley Mall was the second one, and then Charleston Antique Mall is the third one. I'll put all of their information and how you can find them in the description, or I'll throw it up on the screen. And after a long day of touching vintage clothing, sanitize. Those clothes can be really gross. Let me know what you guys think of this vlog. I hope you guys, if you ever visit Vegas, get a chance to visit any of the vintage spots that I showed you today. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you to my girlfriend. Thank you to my brother for joining me today. I appreciate you guys, and until the next vlog or until the next video, I'll see you guys later.